This is the final sequel in the series that is termed Brain Reengineering. The focus in this sequel is on developing a culture that promotes performance excellence. If we do not continue to perform excellently, we are sooner rather than later going to become irrelevant in the marketplace. Our productivity drops, the value of our services and products become less until we end up with an unsustainable way of life that is no longer relevant, and therefore we are thrown to some corner. If we stay relevant, it doesn't matter what is your age, you remain productive for doing the role at that particular age. Somebody at 60 is not going to do the role of a 25-year-old. But if one does not fulfill the role of a 60-year-old or a top management person in an organization, he or she is shunned. He is asked to retire. He is given the pink slip. So the question is, how do we keep ourselves relevant? A very important phenomenon took place about 3.5–4 years ago. Due to a series of events, I ended up with a back injury which was so debilitating that I could not walk to the restroom nearby. The pain was so excruciating that most of the time I was only encouraging negative thoughts. Physically, I was completely devastated. All the consultants whom I went to said only one thing: this cannot be reversed, this is degenerative. Please prepare yourself to live a lifestyle which is not going to be something that you have done in the past. You would not be robust, you would not have enough energy, you are going to be a person who has to learn to manage with the present conditions. Somewhere within me, I did not believe what they said. I felt confident that if I maintained a productive mental state, like I did during my ashram life of more than 20 years, that I can recoup and get back to where I was and probably go forward, because now I had not only information, not only knowledge, but also wisdom. So started the ability or the necessity to self-discipline and self-control back in my life. It took 6 months before I could start walking. Another 6 months before I could start running. Today I am able to run 10 kilometers without any difficulty. More importantly, it is not about just physical fitness. I have less noise in the brain, more energy, I am more positive, more innovative, and can detail to an extent where I deliver on what I promise. So now I wanted to bring out this miraculous change, as it were, to many people struggling with the same problem. They are in their 40s and 50s, abilities going down, professional capabilities being compromised, and they are not able to sustain the levels of performance on a day-to-day level. As consistency drops, other people don't have faith, which means teamwork goes down, which means organization don't believe, as you're not being able to be as responsible on one day with respect to the next. So the more people I met, the more was the need for me to bring this out in a scientific manner, in an empirically validated manner, and talk about what I did. In a very simple way, I can say that I moved from simply encouraging practices like walking and dieting and sleeping well, sleeping the necessary amount of time, to something more eternal in terms of principles. Practices keep changing and need not add any value to your professional capability, whereas eternal principles like attention, it is there in every brain. It's not only this person born in this particular place, in this particular time, with this particular sex, with this particular creed, following this particular religion has this ability. Sorry, every brain has this, which necessarily means it has to be activated. The ability to, we talked about it in the third sequel, the ability to put attention externally, sustain it to get the data that we want. Thereafter, internalize it, as what William James called it, introspect, calm yourself to understand what your customer wants, and not only today, but also in the future. The third more important thing is, once you understand what the customer wants, you have the ability to maintain cortical activation to plan and execute what you have understood is his need or want, her need or want. So the ability is based on principles and not practices. If you move from practices to principles, you are moving from encouraging excellence temporarily to a culture of excellence which helps you maintain it. Learn it by customizing this program for you, your team, your organization. And this is the surefire way to success. Each step in the process has a lesson. The 5-sequel program on brain reengineering starts with how do you overcome the emotional brain or the chaos in your mind. The second is how do you develop a mental state from where growth can happen in the positive direction. The third spoke about how do you maintain learnability. The fourth talked about how do you re-engineer your brain to reskill, to reimagine, to redesign your whole network, not only to meet current customers, but emerging ones as well. The last is how do you sustain performance excellence? How do you develop a culture from where the positive aspect of the emotional brain is rewarded while the negative aspect is quelled? Each one of these sequels need to be custom designed for individuals, teams and organizations. It has to have a quantitative and qualitative aspect. Measuring the brain is a must. When we go out to buy a shirt, we measure. When we go out to buy a shoe, we measure. And yet all of us somehow think that I can go anywhere and help myself grow without having any quantitative measurement. That's very sad. So custom designing this to fit individual, team and organizational capability is a must. Last but not the least is, after you finish the 5 sequels and started your program, you might think, I have achieved everything. Sorry, you are only beginning what you have started. It is like getting a black belt. Till you reach there, you are not fully prepared to practice that martial art. With black belt, you don't stop practicing. You are perfect in your practice and have to continue with it. Custom designing is a must. Please get in touch with us. The numbers are shown, the telephone numbers are shown, the email is shown. Please get in touch with us and we will do the best for you. Thank you.